Darth Steely.
Think of something that couldn't possibly destroy us.
Steely the Destructor.
An absolutely demonic looking minotaur, easily 3 times the size of any of the other ones, grabs hold of the side of the pit and drags itself out. It looks like a minotaur in form, but it's much, much larger. And it's just draped in blood and guts and other forms of offal. Roaring with such a loud presence that the echo just shakes the walls of the cave. These 2 minotaurs still have actions. This one, 10, 20, 30, 40, begins fleeing towards the back of the cave. This one flees back towards this exit. And as the creature emerges from the pit, you see it immediately turns its attention to these 3 standing in front of the pit, having just chucked their friend into it. And bear with me one moment. That's going to bring us... It's his turn. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. I helped with that. I'm sorry.
Can only deal with the immediate threat.
This is the boring part where I just have to roll a bunch of attacks against my own monsters. So this one got chucked into the pit. These 3 are still there. Okay. That's a lot of damage. This one's a miss. That one's a hit. And just enraged, the thing clambers forward and just starts raking across these minotaurs with its claw, just tearing into their flesh. One of them ducks underneath the blow. The other 2 blows strike home. And they're shouting something in their minotaur tongue, but the thing seems heedless of their words. That's going to bring us to Alexander.
Okay, so Alex will fire up his boots of flying. He's going to fly out and up into this open area in the chasm, so he's about 25 feet up.
Okay.
And then he's going to take some shots on this thing, because it seems like it's probably bad news.
Okay.
So the first attack hits an armor class of 24.
24 does hit.
That'll deal 27 magical piercing.
Now I need calc.exe. Okay.
Second attack hits an armor class of 15.
15 does not hit.
And third attack, less than 15.
You take dead aim and squeeze off 3 shots, and one of them, the thing shudders forward as it impacts its shoulder. The other 2 shots hit it in the back and does not seem to have noticed.
That's the end of Alex's turn.
Okay, and you're now flying.
Yeah, 25 feet up.
Connor.
All right. Excuse me. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
All right.
This is fine. Everything about this is fine. I'm not worried at all.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Bonus action.
Yep.
Lightning arrow. Yeah, I'm not going to sharpshooter this. This is going to be... So...
Yeah.
Gonna go after the big guy.
Okay.
Gonna go after the big guy. Yeah, that is a 20 to hit.
20 will hit.
Woo! All right, cool. as he takes, whoops, as he takes 17 lightning damage.
Okay.
Second arrow. Oh, wait, no. These are all within 10 feet,
Yeah.
I believe. So they all make a dexterity saving throw, please.
I have an 18, a 14, and a 12.
14 and 12 fail.
Okay.
So they take 9 lightning damage.
Each of them take 9?
Yep.
And one of them is now bloodied.
Oh, and the one that saved takes half as much. So half of 9.
Okay.
It's fun. I like that spell.
So firing lightning across the room. You hit the big creature, no issue, but the lightning did not seem to affect it very much.
Ah! You don't say.
I don't say.
All right.
But you did say.
I did say.
Well, I got 2 more arrows, so shooty.
Mm-hmm.
It's only 8 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 8 piercing.
Shooty, hit the booty.
And one more is 18 to hit.
18 will not hit.
18 will not hit. Dang.
So your next arrow gets him high in the back flank, and it shudders for a moment. The other arrow just clips into the back of his head and just sticks there with no effect.
I'm sure he didn't notice the guy shooting lightning into his back.
Oh no, he definitely knows you guys are back there now, for sure. Connor, moving or staying put?
This is not going to help in the slightest. Right here is perfect.
Okay. That's going to bring us to Gus.
Okay, Gus is going to look over at Connor's quiver. How many arrows do you have left, Connor?
25.
Oh, well, that's plenty.
Well, he's going through 3 every round.
Yeah. I started with 42.
Well, how about this? Gus is going to. Gus has a quiver that he brought with him when we were on the cockatoo to shoot in case we were attacked, and then ended up never using it because why would I?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna take that off my belt and leave it where I'm standing, and then I'm going to move up here with Alex. Oh, Alex is flying. Yeah, Gus is gonna fly too, because I also have the boots.
Okay.
So
how high above the ground?
How high is the ceiling? How tall is the monster?
So where you guys are in this big like triangle area, the ceiling goes up a good between 15 and 20 feet. So you can fly all the way to the ceiling and be a good 20 feet off the ground. Inside the area, you can't see the top of the ceiling.
Right.
Lucius might be able to, but nobody else could at this point. This
How
guy
tall-
is at least 2 to 3 times the size of the other Minotaurs, who were already a good 7-8 feet tall. This thing is enormous.
All right.
This thing could easily grab one of these Minotaurs and pick it up in one of its gigantic claws.
Right.
Other than that, in all other respects, it looks like a Minotaur.
Okay. So where does the so if I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
that's 20. If I dash to here,
Yep.
will I be where the ceiling is higher?
Oh, yes. You're now entering the main cavern.
Okay. If I go that high, will I be out of reach of the Minotaur?
Depends on what kind of attacks he has.
I know, but I mean from his grubby mitts.
I will let you use your action to try to make a perception check to make that judgment before you move.
No.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like a good idea.
Because I mean, you'd have to know how high this thing can jump and how far away it can reach, and it might have magic you have no idea about.
Right. So yeah, Gus is gonna stand here and he's just gonna cast Blade Ward.
Okay. So how high up off the ground are you? About level with Alex? Alex went
Yeah,
up
about
20 feet.
Yeah, about level with Alex.
All right, so from your position, you could reach up and touch the ceiling. Is that your intent?
Yes.
Okay.
I hate that the specificity of that question
Lucius.
makes me feel like this was a bad idea.
Sir.
What's good, man?
Not the situation. Just throwing that out there. Again, science is fun. So let's do some magical science and
Now
see
wait,
what happens.
before you do this, you chucked a Minotaur in the pit, and you got a Minotaur 3 times the size. If you chuck this one in the pit, you're going to get one 3 times the size of him. That's
Well,
just
eventually-
basic chemistry.
Eventually, we'll hit the square cube law, and we'll grab the fall.
Eventually, it'll be so big it can't crawl up out of the pit. By all means, do science. Please to be sciencing.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know if you'd be able to get pushed past these guys. So
You will after you do some science.
let's do some science. 22 to hit.
22 will hit.
7 points force damage. Push 10 feet.
Okay, I'm going to give the 2 Minotaur behind him a strength saving throw to not get knocked backwards. So it's a 14 and a 15. So they managed to hold their ground. So this one slides out of the way, and so does this one, and he gets pushed back 10 feet.
Let's do it again.
Okay.
Make things worse. 27 to hit.
That'll hit.
7 points force damage. Push 10 feet.
Okay. And he gets launched backwards into the pit. And then with a great howl and a roar, its enormous hand slaps the side of the pit and interrupts his fall. You no longer have a shot on him.
Hit that one then.
Okay. He's not having a good day, that one.
23 to hit.
That'll hit.
13 points force damage.
And he was already barely bloodied. Now he's very severely bloodied.
Push 10 feet.
All right. And moving or staying put?
You don't see me. Please, Mr. Scary Minotaur Man, you don't see me.
10, 20, 30, 40. 10, 20, 30, 40.
I feel like we have decimated the breeding population of minotaurs in this ecosystem.
Adventurers are an invasive species.
We really are. Wait, no, we're investigators. We're not adventurers.
40. 10, 20, 30, 40.
Oh.
And they just break and start fleeing towards the back of the cavern. And then the big guy happens. I have to measure. Ah, that's too
Didn't
bad.
make our day worse.
That's upsetting. He climbs out of the pit, no worse for wear.
Like, any wounds left on him at all?
Just the little pissant arrows poking out of the back of his hide. That
Okay.
were already poking out from there.
You mean those incredibly awesome arrows? I'm gonna get dragged into this pit.
Who knows? Maybe it's good in the pit.
Maybe.
Maybe the pit is where maybe that hole was made for us.
I demonstrated that pit is meat explosion. I don't.
What
think
if we
that's
throw
good.
you into a pit and we got a new 20-foot tall Connor to fuck with these minotaurs?
That sounds like a nightmare. You want to deal with a 20-foot Connor? Oh,
Attack the 20-foot Connor.
How do I want to rule this? Because this guy can do 2 like really awesome things, but you've taken care of those both, and I'm sad.
What you do is you just pat us on the back for our incredible foresight.
Nah,
And
fuck
let
it.
us-
Alex and Gus, make a dexterity saving throw.
12.
Ooh,
20.
20. So the creature blasts forward, and he starts pounding the ground and the walls with his fists and his hooves. And in a radius around him, creatures would be knocked prone if they were standing there. You guys aren't standing there, but you're both pretty close to a wall and directly underneath the ceiling. So, Gus, you are now both flying and knocked prone. Do you have the hover trait on whatever you're using to fly?
Yeah.
You do.
I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the boots allow you to.
Well,
hover.
let's be absolutely sure.
So
Because there's
I'm
a big
looking.
difference.
I'm looking. I'm looking.
Because
We need boots.
if you can hover, then you just hover there, kind of tumbling in midair. If you can't hover, being knocked prone will knock you out of the air.
You have a flying speed equal to. You can use the boots to fly at once. Each one. If you are flying when the duration expires. It doesn't say. It doesn't say.
Okay.
You fly all at once or several. If you're flying when the duration expires, you descend at a rate for 30 feet per round until you land.
The fly spell doesn't grant you the hover trait either. I thought it did. Because I thought the boots surely just took the trait from the spell, but it doesn't. Well, okay. Gus.
I guess we've been doing fly wrong all this time.
Well, it doesn't actually come up that often. Being knocked prone in midair. Gus.
Yeah.
You are knocked prone and you take 7 damage when you hit the ground.
Oh, okay.
Is just the shaking of the walls and the ceiling cause you to tumble in place for a moment, get knocked to the
It's-
ground.
And there was no damage involved with that. It was just the knock prone.
He took the damage because he fell out of the air.
No, yeah, I'm talking about the initial effect.
No, the initial effect doesn't deal damage; just knocks you prone.
Okay.
That's all he could do now, but now he's closed the distance on you jabronis pretty well. That's going to bring us to Alex.
So Alex can fly up another 25 feet and out a little bit to have the headroom for it.
Not quite. You need to go further in here before it opens up. In this triangle
Like how
area,
far?
you got 20 foot. Back behind him at this point, because he's now entered the little triangle area in front of the cavern.
What about over here? Is there a higher ceiling there? Or...
It gets a little bit, yeah, because you're starting to open up into the stalagmite caves in that direction.
Can I get like 30 or 35 feet if I fly up to here?
Sure, that's fine.
Excellent. All right, let's go ahead and level my gun at the creature. First shot. Hit an armor class of 30.
30 will hit.
Let's go ahead and deal 17 magical piercing. Second shot will hit an armor class of 17.
17 does not hit.
And oh god. Third shot will hit an armor class of 22.
That'll hit.
Go ahead and deal another 10 magical piercing.
Okay.
And I think that's the end of Alex's turn.
Yeah, this thing's hide is just so thick that some of your shots just aren't even penetrating. Some of the bullets are just ricocheting off. It's going to bring us to Connor.
Okay. Don't know if I like the sound of that. Bullets bouncing off.
Just as a reminder, there's another quiver on the ground right there on that X if you run out.
Cheers. Appreciate that. I'm going to cast Zephyr Strike on myself as a bonus action.
Okay.
That gives me... I don't provoke an opportunity attacks when I move, and it gives me advantage on my first attack. And additional 1d8 force damage if it lands.
Yes.
Which I'm going to do. I'm going to shoot it.
I would.
Yeah. That is a 28 to hit.
28 will hit.
How much force damage did I say? I did say 1d8. Okay, cool. for 13 piercing sorry, I'm an idiot. For 12 piercing and 1 force damage. And I got a second arrow.
Okay.
26 to hit.
That'll hit.
He takes another 9 piercing. Third arrow is 18 to hit.
18 does not hit.
Didn't think so. All right. That is Connor's turn.
It's going to bring us to Gus, laying prone on the ground.
Hey, I'm going to stand up.
Sure.
Then I'm going to... you know what? 5, 10, 15. I'm just gonna hit this man.
It's not a man. It's more like a humongous minotaur.
This Minotaur man. I'm gonna hit him.
Okay.
First is a booming blade. That is a 27 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay. And he takes 14 magical bludgeoning damage and 15 thunder damage.
Okay.
And for my second attack, which is just a bonus action, that is a 25 to hit.
Also hits.
And he takes 15 magical bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And he is wreathed in booming energy.
Sure. And moving or staying put?
That took all my movement.
Lucius, the giant minotaur is getting closer to you by the moment.
Yeah, no, let's counteract the getting closer to me with the getting away force. And let's go ahead and hit it with 3 Eldritch Blasts.
Okay.
That's a nat 1.
Not going to hit.
How about a 17?
17 will not hit.
Dang. Well, I guess this 25 will, huh?
Sure.
$12 points force damage. Push 10 feet.
All right. And Lucius, moving or staying put?
Coming back over here.
Okay. Alex, behind you, you hear the hoofbeats of a minotaur disappearing back into the caves. And these guys are basically just moved out of sight at this point. All right, 3 attacks. Let's see how awesome this round goes.
Do you have reach?
He what?
Do you have the reach to hit Gustavus?
He's got all kinds of movement.
Oh.
But yes, he
'Cause-
also does have reach. Gus,
Yeah.
I tried Gustavus.
I have a 26 to grab you. So you need to beat that with a strength athletics or dex acrobatics.
Oh, okay.
Booming blade pops, I think, right? Since he moved in.
Yes, he did have to step forward to try to grab you.
That is a 14. Oh, yeah, but yeah, he pops. He takes 18 thunder damage.
That's it?
I mean, that's actually a significant amount for a cantrip, isn't it?
And
Yeah.
he is bloodied. But you are also grappled by the creature.
Uh-huh.
What
Alex-
was his check to grab there, real quick?
Strength athletics.
No, what did he make? What was his?
26.
Yeah, I rolled a 14. Yeah.
I've
I've been rolling really poorly.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 23 to hit you.
That hits.
Okay. Alex, 16 points of bludgeoning damage.
Mhm.
And Gus, 16 points of bludgeoning damage. As he reaches down, grabs Gus up by the leg, and flings him bodily at Alexander, who is 35 feet off the ground.
What's the range increment on a half elven fighter wearing?
Doesn't matter. You're inside of it. Gus,
I'm gonna cast Featherfall as a reaction.
Well, I was
Gus
gonna give
myself.
Gus a reaction to make a
Sure.
saving throw.
Yeah, to turn on his boots.
Not a saving throw, an acrobatics check. To not fall to the ground after being thrown at Alex.
That's an 8.
An 8? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Featherfall.
So you use your reaction to cast Featherfall. So how far does he fall this round?
60 feet.
Oh, so he goes all the way to the ground anyway, just not.
Yeah, Featherfall is real fast.
All right, so let's put Gus right here, and then I still have enough movement to charge forward at Gus.
Uh-huh. Oh, by the way, any attacks, like actual attack rolls you make, are
Like this one.
at disadvantage. Actually, I should roll.
For what? What's giving disadvantage?
Never mind. A
You just
blur.
lost the blur.
Oh.
Yeah, I just lost the blur.
I have a 24 to hit you.
Shield.
Okay.
You're looking for a 26 now.
All right. It's not going to work. As, yeah, he charges forward exactly like you've seen the Minotaurs do before. And even before the impact, like you just hit the ground after Featherfall, and you just instinctively throw it up. And the thing's horns crash into the shield with such force that they puncture through it on either side of your body. You don't know how much weight that shield just absorbed, but you're really glad it did. You sustain no damage from the goring attack. That's going to bring us back to Alexander, who is floating up in the air above all this.
Let's go ahead and shoot him a couple times.
Yep.
Gus is like, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it.
So, first attack. Hit an armor class of 14.
Nope.
Second attack.
It is bloodied. I wasn't sure if I mentioned that. You did bloody it.
Hit
did.
an armor class of 26.
That'll hit.
For 14 damage, and Gus, go ahead and get back 6 hit points.
Just
And
to
then-
be clear, I am actually very good on hit points.
Okay. And third attack. It's an armor class of 31.
31 hits.
Hey.
For 24 magical damage.
That's a calc.exe amount of damage. You said 21?
Yeah.
I said 24.
All right. And is Alex moving or staying put?
Do I have any more room to fly upward?
Only if you keep going back further into the cave.
Can I get cover behind one of these stalactites if I do that?
Oh, yeah. In fact, let me go ahead and I'll give you a few more here.
Okay.
Just a little bit more.
Oh,
of
okay,
the
they're actually
area.
on the map.
Oh,
Yeah, let's. I got plenty of range.
Yeah, you can tell that continuing down this way, you'll be entering back into what you previously identified as the Minotaur living areas.
Yeah, Alex will fly up behind one of these stalactites, probably around the base of the ceiling. I'm about 50 feet up now.
Yes, this area here opens up quite tall, and then it opens up a little bit more further on in, because these
Okay, yeah.
the whole Minotaur caves were relatively, but much higher up. And that's going to bring us to Connor.
All right. Second verse, same as the first. Zephyr Strike.
Sure.
Zephyr Strike doing some work, honestly.
Bang, bang.
Oh, there comes that Keelian again.
Oh, it's a crit. Oh, that's a crit. Oh, that's beautiful.
I said Keelian and
Look
when
at
I
that.
came up a 1. How about that?
1, what are you talking about? That number doesn't exist on a die.
Big
Oh,
numbers.
wow.
Big numbers.
Yeah, wow. All right, that is...
Here comes the big boy damage.
That's 21 force damage, or sorry, 15 force damage, 21 piercing.
A lot of damage.
Yeah, it is.
You
Okay.
could do that. You could do that again.
All right, second arrow is 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
Takes another 7 damage.
Okay.
Third arrow. It's a 30
30 will hit.
for another 9 piercing.
Okay. And Connor, moving or staying put?
Just a moment. I gotta mark off my arrows. Okay, and we Connor does not feel like being gored at the moment.
Okay.
All right, it's Connor's turn.
Why is Lucius moving? Lucius shouldn't be moving. It's not Lucius's turn.
Sorry.
It's Gus's turn.
Yeah.
Gus, you
it's
were
the-
laying prone at the foot of the monster.
Gus stands up and says, "All right, here we go." And I'm going to booming blade the monster again.
Okay.
Does a 19 hit?
19 does hit.
For some
Okay.
reason, I thought Gus was going to try to gore the Minotaur in retaliation.
Just start headbutting its kneecaps. How do you like it?
I'm gonna headbutt you.
That is 9 pierce. I almost said piercing because you are talking about goring. 9 bludgeoning damage and 10 thunder damage.
Okay.
And he is something wreathed in booming energy.
Okay.
So when he inevitably throws me at Alex again and then charges after us, he'll take some more damage.
Sure.
And that is for my bonus action. That is a 22 to hit
That'll hit.
for 11 bludgeoning damage.
All right. He's looking pretty severely bloodied at this point. Moving or staying put?
No, I'm fine. It's okay. It's all right.
Now it's Lucius's turn. Lucius, can you be the guy?
Possibly, if I can hit the guy, which will be a tricky thing. Because he has pretty high AC, pretty scary high AC, but that's a 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
19. I figured that out.
Now it's 21. Every time you guess their AC, it goes up by 2.
Oh no.
6 points first damage.
Okay.
Second shot.
Are you pushing it anywhere?
Not really worth it to do so, so I think that's a 20 to hit.
20 will hit.
6 points force damage.
Gus, do you still have a reaction?
Yes.
Make me a dexterity saving throw.
Ah, crap.
Oh.
It's a saving throw?
Saving
No, wait.
throw.
Still 10.
Ten points of bludgeoning damage as Lucius steps forward and throws Eldritch Blast at the back of this thing's legs. And when it dies, it falls over on top of you, crushing you. You manage to scramble partially out of the way, but you're locked under one of its enormous limbs. Lucius, moving or staying put?
I am going to move to here and end my turn.
The thing's death throes, its death rattles as it roars out its last, shakes the entire cavern. And as it happens, the remaining Minotaurs start poking their heads back in. To kind of witness the scene. So they see the giant Minotaur is dead. They don't see Alex. They see Lucius kind of coming around the corner. And no other bodies on the ground. Lucius is too far away, but I have Gus there. Gus,
Yeah.
I need another dexterity saving throw, please.
And 7.
7. You rolled at a disadvantage, right?
I mean, no, but does it matter?
It might.
8.
8, okay.
So 7.
31 points of fire damage. As the thing lets out this death roar, and then its whole body explodes into a burst of super hot steam, which boils away at you, blisters your skin before dissipating into the air. So now you're just laying in this big pool of condensation that's spreading out along the floor and part of the walls here. And no trace.
30.
Sorry?
I just said you said 31.
31.
Okay. I would like to use my reaction to use absorb elements.
You can't. You've used your reaction on a saving throw.
Oh. Okay, then 31 points it is.
And that's going to bring us to Alex. Lucius, you were too far away for that to have any effect on you. Just barely.
So what can I actually see right now?
You can see Gus laying on the ground, and you saw this creature explode into a burst of super hot steam. And you can hear in the caves the movement of the Minotaurs moving back out into the caves, but you can't see them yet from your position.
I'm
Sorry, when you
almost...
say back out, do you mean towards us or away from us?
You just hear them. You hear their footsteps moving in towards the center of the cave.
Okay. Alex will fly. 5, 10. Fly to about here, 25 feet up, and then ready in action to shoot the first Minotaur he sees.
How much dark vision do you have?
120 feet.
If you can draw a line between you and any of these 3 Minotaurs, you can probably shoot them right now.
Oh, sure.
Because there's still light in the center of the cave coming from the 4 torches.
We're looking at like 12 squares range at least, or...
Well, I don't know what his range increment is.
120. I can shoot anything I can see.
Yeah, it's fine.
So yeah, I'll take some shots on that one then.
Very good.
First shot hits an armor class of 16.
16 will hit.
24 magical piercing.
And he is dead.
Do I have a line of sight on the other one?
If you can draw a line, you can.
Where's the line tool?
It's
the
the 4th
ruler.
one down.
Yeah,
There's
fourth
a
one down.
ruler.
a line with an arrow pointing downward.
Okay, I don't know why that said grid.
Yeah, that.
No, that corner is going to block my shot on anyone else.
Yep. Yeah, you drop that one effortlessly from that position. Is that it for Alex?
Yeah.
It's going to bring us to Connor.
Hello. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to use my meta magic adept feature to cast Cure Wounds on Gus at a level 2. Turns touch into 30 feet, which is neat. And he gets back 10 hit points.
Okay. This is a very
And
weird
no
outlier, I've noticed.
Mm.
The blur spell. So some enemies have a an effect where if they land an attack roll on you, you become grappled. Minotaurs don't. If they want to grapple you, they have to use the standard grapple rules, which becomes a skill check. So blur gives you an advantage over monsters without the extra grapple ability that regular grapple monsters do have to contend with, because they have to land a to-hit roll to grapple you, whereas the Minotaur doesn't. That is a weird edge case. That's a strange interaction. I didn't mean to interrupt your turn with that.
No, it's all right. I'm
Just-
a ranger. I deserve it.
I've been mulling it over in my head for, like, why is it so easy to grab Gus and throw him around? He's got blur up.
Anyway, I'm good.
You're not shooting?
I cure wounded.
That's right.
He did
So
a
no,
heal.
that's- No shooty.
Gus, you're feeling slightly better.
Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. So Gus will stand up and
Yeah.
move 5, 10, 15 feet. And then I've only got 60 feet of dark vision. So how much light is
These ones
This-
here, these ones would be in dim light.
Mhm.
So would he, because remember, there's torches all around the outside of the pit, illuminating the center of the chamber. So you can
Okay.
see them, but only with dim light.
so disadvantage, right? What I'm hearing.
No, they're partially obscured, so they have partial cover basically.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're at disadvantage if you can't see them at all. If you're blind, effectively.
All right. Does a 13 hit
No,
this one?
does not.
All right. That's all I got.
Okay. I think you've done enough. You could probably sit the rest of this battle out, man, if you need. A
Yeah,
rest.
you're probably done for now.
Actually, you know what? No,
take
I
a
got
nap.
one more thing. Bonus action. Second win.
There you go. Lucius, you're up.
Hey. Go ahead, take a knee. I think we can mop up here. Lucius steps up here. Take aim on that guy and fire some Eldritch Blasts at him.
Sure.
First shot. Does a 20 hit?
It does.
12 points force damage.
Okay.
Push 10 feet.
Sure.
Let's do it again.
Do it repeatedly.
19 to hit.
Also hits.
8 points force damage.
Okay.
Smushed up against the wall. And let's give him a third.
Sure.
That's a 13 to hit.
13 does not hit.
Regrettable. Lucius will step back over here away from the Minotaurs.
And as this one clambers backwards towards the wall and regains his feet, he throws himself down on the ground with both arms in front of him, splayed out. And the other two south here follow suit. And all three of them begin shouting something in their language repeatedly that you don't understand because none of you speak their language. We can come off initiative unless you guys are going to step forward and murder them. But they are giving up.
Lucius, how long does it take to cast this spell?
And in
Is
a
it-
ritual.
Is it a ritual? I think it's a ritual because it would take me 10 minutes to cast it.
Yeah, let's cast that ritual.
Oh, Gus is just gonna go over here and sit up against the wall.
Okay, so you guys are going to hang out there for 10 minutes. When they see that you're not advancing, the three of them regroup and move, again, out of sight into the back of the cave somewhere. What are you casting as a ritual?
Comprehend languages.
Okay. See, by the time the spell goes off, the Minotaurs have moved as far away from you as they can get. Who among you has the highest passive perception?
Probably Lucius at 18.
Okay, and you've got dark vision as well.
Yeah.
This entire cavern looks like a charnel pit. The place might as well be painted with not just blood, but also spatters of bits of bone, broken muscle tissue, flesh and hair, pieces of clothing, now and then a shred of metal. It looks like this effect where they've been chucking bodies into this pit and getting them to blow up has been going on for some time. So a couple of the splatters are very, very fresh because you literally watch the bodies go in yourself, but many, many more are much older. However, along this left-hand wall is a space on the floor where it looks like the blood spatter, the layers of it, have been scraped away to the bare rock. And as you enter the cavern, you can hear the three Minotaur back in the corner muttering something to themselves, but below the point of perception. You can hear them muttering back and forth, but you can't tell what they're saying. As long as you leave them alone, they'll probably leave you alone from here on out.
Connor, go ahead and take this quiver. I'm never gonna use it.
How many arrows are in it?
It's a full quiver of 20.
Okay.
At the very
Thanks,
least, we've
buddy.
cowed them that much. It's certain. And Lucius will point out that that odd scraping of blood in this neighborhood.
Alex is going to head over to inspect the pit, flying about 10 feet off the ground.
Looking in the pit, you no longer see swirls of steam or anything. It's just a bottomless pit. Just disappears down into darkness.
Rest in peace, Steely.
I tried really hard to throw Gus into that pit. I tried really, really hard.
Well, congratulations. I had to use literally every escape mechanism that I had to get out of being thrown into that pit.
I think I tried to
Party
grapple
streak has
you.
been eroded.
I think I tried to grapple you like 10 times.
I rolled pretty poorly overall. I got a lot of like less than 5s.
Yeah, Lucius is going to examine that trickle of blood that has been scraped away.
It's a place on the floor where there might have been splatters at some point, but looking up at the wall, you see the wall has no such break in the spatters and blood. However, you do find a crease at one point in the wall that coincides with the edge on the scraped part of the floor.
Gentlemen, I think I've found a secret passageway.
Cool.
However, I don't know what this has to do with a rogue king, so either our contact was mistaken or she was lying to us.
Alex will fly over and inspect the altar.
Come around and looking at the altar. Make me a religion check, please.
You got it.
But he takes religion.
Lucius does.
That's a religion of 11.
11. Just horrific markings mark the altar that look similar in design to the magic runes you've seen in other places of the dungeon. But these runes are not magical in any way. In fact, it wouldn't be correct to call them runes. You just don't recognize the iconography on the altar.
Lucius should be able to read them since he's got comprehend languages if he goes and takes a look.
That's the thing. They're not actually runes. There's nothing to read.
Oh,
The
okay.
design of them looks similar to the runes because they were made by minotaurs, but it's religious iconography that Alex can't place immediately.
You think we could get Steely out of there?
Gus, looking down the pit, it is just a featureless, bottomless pit.
I mean, I could build another one tomorrow.
Are we going to be here tomorrow?
We'll see. But for now, Lucius is going to run a hand along the crack in the depression along the wall right here.
Okay, make me an investigation check.
15.
You run your hand along the crack. Nothing seems to be out of place. But it doesn't take you long investigating the part of the wall. You find a knot in the wall that looks like it's made of stone. Just a little protrusion coming out in one place. But as you move your hand over it, it's made of some other kind of material. Not stone.
Alexander.
Yeah.
Lucius has a hand on it and calls you over.
And yeah, it looks like it can be depressed into the wall slightly.
Let's go ahead and check for traps.
Go ahead and make that roll. Investigation.
That's an investigate of 20.
20. No obvious traps, and there's no carvings or arcane runes anywhere in the area. It's just the stone wall with this one little knot to it off to the side that looks like it can be depressed.
Yeah, Alex will try and open it.
And when you push it, you hear a sliding sound in the wall next to you as part of the wall hinges outwards, scraping along the floor. Only a couple of inches, but long enough that you'd be able to squeeze some material in to pry it the rest of the way open. And no sooner does that happen than you hear a haggard, elderly male voice from inside. I keep careful track of the days, and it has not yet been 30 days. Lucius, you understand that because you've cast Comprehend Languages. The voice is speaking in Drow.
Okay.
Just open it.
So guys, you step forward, and it doesn't take a lot of strength. You just have to kind of give it a little bit of elbow grease to help it on its way. You do indeed open up into a cavern in the room beyond. Now, this cavern looks more comfortable than the rest of the caves. The walls here are adorned with wooden paneling and tapestries. You see the floor is covered with relatively clean rushes, and in places rugs have been placed down. It's a living quarters. Looking in the far back of the room, you see where a small dais has been raised, upon which sits a meager throne with cushions that looks to be made out of probably, it looks like it's a golden throne, more likely plated, some other metal plated with gold. But looking around the room, you see where one area is a small but comfortable looking sleeping chamber with a 4-post bed with the curtains drawn, and this is where you hear the voice coming from. Along another area of the cavern, you see a fairly well-maintained, a well-stocked table with non-perishable foodstuffs strewn about. You also see some barrels to the side, casks of probably water or wine or something, and a wardrobe. And then here and there, various personal effects of clothing and utensils. However, no weapons, no armor, and nothing that immediately leaps out to you as being strongly magical.
Let me go first.
Okay.
Gus just kind of steps into the room,
Okay?
in
And
the
yet-
middle of the room.
Immediately noticeable because your boots are no longer clapping against the stone floor, but you've got soft rushes placed on the floor, and here and there are rugs. Not much matching going on to the decor of the room. It looks comfortable, but not well decorated.
Which direction did the voice come from?
There's a bed in the back corner here, a 4-post bed with the curtains drawn. That's where you heard
Lucius
the
calls
voice.
out over there and says, "You wouldn't happen to be the King Iriadul, I presume?"
What language are you speaking in?
Common.
Common. At the sound of common, the curtain is pulled back, and a man inside who looks old and drawn features, very sparse, thin hair, gray and white, and a haggard appearance. He's wearing finery, but not well cared for. And the colors and adornments on his finery you recognize as being that of one of the late Dunfossan kings, but not the one you've called out. His left arm has got the curtain drawn and is peering out at you. His right arm has been lost at some point, and his clothing is just tied off. So you don't recognize the face of King Catsbin, but you definitely recognize his colors as you've been living in Dunfoss for quite some time. And he sat the throne in recent history. Catsbin was the one that had sailed off and did not return.
It was the one who Iriadul assumed his identity. You had... He's been duplicated, Lucius calls out. Like, just... He snaps his fingers like, they duplicated him.
Many times, right?
Yeah, what?
And he's kind of looking with just
No.
wonder and fascination back and forth as you guys exchange words.
King Catsbin, yes.
And he takes a step out from his bed, and you see him fish around on the other side of the curtain for a moment. And when his left hand returns, it's holding a wooden crutch that he puts down on the ground. And when he steps forward, you see his left leg has also been severed. Up in the thigh is tied off. So has the left side of his body is entirely supported just by his arm. And he kind of painstakingly takes a few steps forward. Can it be? Men of Dunfoss.
Of a sort. Lucius Udok. Lucius bows. Flumph.
The room is well lit as well, by the way. I forget if I had mentioned. There are torch sconces around the wall, several of which around the bed are lit. There's also a hearth much closer to where the throne is, but the fire in the hearth is not lit. Just the area around his bed where he was sleeping.
Yeah. Lucius says, Lucius Udog of Flumph Inc.
Your father or grandfather or someone owns land. Some days away. I'm aware. I recognize your name. But not your company.
That's true. We're a fairly recent addition to Dunfoss.
We have offices in the Shallows.
So
what year in Dunfoss?
Lucius gives the year of the calendar.
So let's see. It would have been 1370. It'd be 1371.
And he's been missing probably... Hard to say.
And when you tell him the year, the strength goes out of him, and he kind of clatters to the floor. First his crutch clatters, and then he kind of just hits the floor hard with one knee and tries to support himself with his left hand. And you hear him just begin weeping to himself.
Normally, I think normally Gus would run over there to help him, but the last time we picked up we picked up King Catspan, he exploded.
I don't think there's much chance of that happening now.
Gus will actually say that out loud. Like, do you need help?
And he's weeping, and he tells you that a mere 12 years ago, when he was raised to the throne, he was a young man. Younger, perhaps, than some of you. In only 12 years, he has aged. And he holds his left hand out in front of him, just looks down at his palm, and as he does, he lifts his head up. You see where the hair has fallen away from his face. One of his eyes has been plucked out, and the entire left side of his face, from his forehead down to the bridge of his nose, is terribly scarred, where a layer of flesh has been torn away.
Has it really only been 12 years? I thought it was longer.
Catspan sailed off. Well, he raised to the throne in 1358. That same year, he sailed off on a revelry to celebrate his ascension. He was never seen again. Maximilian was raised later that year. He served for 12 years until he died, and then 10 Sails was raised.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Gus's better nature is going to get the better of him, and he's going to walk forward to help him back to.
Alex, are you still on the outside of the room?
Yeah, Alex will stand guard out here.
Okay.
It sounds like the math shouldn't be adding up here. That even in 12 years, he seems to have aged an incredible deal.
So Alex,
that right?
Yes, he's a very, very old man. And we've established that none of you had residence in Dunfoss 12 years ago. But Catspan was a young man when he took the throne. And Alex, from your position, you can see the 3 Minotaurs just over here, huddled in this corner, unable to retreat any farther from you.
They're like dogs. They're looking away. Because if they can't see you, you can't see them.
So let's go ahead and take a 15-minute break here. Go ahead, get your coffee, get your bagel, and let's decide what you want to do with the long-lost King Catspan.
Throw him into the pit!
We're
Throw him into Satan's Cuisinart over here. See what happens.
Strictly speaking, he is now the king of Dunfoss at the moment.
Yeah.
And Tensel's is a usurper. So
I have a feeling when we get back, Tencel isn't going to be there. He's going to be off on his venture to find whatever it is. Anyway, BRB.